Hi guys, Brian here, Big B Rebooted. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to explain, I've had a lot of questions. The latest one was just on my last video, the urban fishing video that I put out, about how I fish the NIKKO Hellgrammite, what equipment I use, how I use it. I'm going to try to explain that. It's a little thing that I developed, a little technique that I developed, and it's just trial and error, for real. But the technique that I have developed has worked. You know, I've caught hundreds of bass this summer. Literally hundreds of bass, and that's no exaggeration. I have had a very successful summer as far as fish catching goes. Have I caught some really giants? I've caught some big ones, but not as many as I would have liked. I've caught a lot of medium range, like 12 to 14 inchers, you know. I've caught several bigger bass, and I've lost a bunch of bass. And I'm going to explain that too, because I know what it is. And I'm taking steps to address that, or I've taken steps to address that. Okay, with that having been said, this is a NIKKO Hellgrammite, or NIKKO. Now this little guy here, he's in bad shape because he's been in my Plano box for a while now, and you can see his legs are kind of curling in the wrong directions and all that kind of stuff. But if you look, the bottom is flat, and the top, it has eyes, and you know, it's more of a lifelike appearance, so to speak, and they're adorable. They are very, very adorable. This is the 3-inch Hellgrammite. In the rivers and streams that I fish, primarily I use the natural color and the mud bug color. But I'm going to try to start using this guy because for real, I think he should work. I forgot I even had these. I was just looking through my stuff to make this video, and I come across him. I was like, okay. The other thing I use, and this is a larger jig head than I normally use. I normally use a 1/32 ounce jig head. This is, I think, a 1/8. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But where my problem has been as far as missing bass, this shank right here. Not all jigs are made the same. Some are made with cheaper wire than others, whatever. And with the Hellgrammite on, you may not be able to tell that your jig head is bent, but if you start missing fish, you might want to check it. And don't be like me and be complacent and, you know, just lazy. Like, I'll just straighten it up and keep on going. Well, yeah, and then, you know, complain about missing fish. Hopefully that squares me away, because honestly, that's really, really frustrating. It really is. But anyhow, what I tend to do with these NIKKO Hellgrammites, if you can see, you got the head segment, and then you have a body segment right here before it gets into the body. That's where I put my jig head. That's how I put him on. I go through and come out right at the bottom of the second segment, you know, below the head. Now I did a crappy job, so he's kind of bent to the side, but you see what I'm talking about there. These Hellgrammites are designed to float, okay? That is why I use light jig heads. And before I go any further, I use a PC Fun Viper X reel. I use an Abu Garcia Vengeance 6.5 foot, 6.6 I think, medium light rod, which is a giant upgrade from the ugly sticks that I've been using that are just like fishing with frickin' sticks. I use 8-pound monofilament. Now it's trilene, I believe. Big Game is the name of it, I think. It works out well for me. What I do, now I don't use like the clips or anything like that. Now, I have a swivel on my rod right now, which I'll just show you. See, this is my Viper X. It's dirty. My rod. I have a swivel on here right now. Why? I'm not real sure. See, and I like to actually use that kind of jig head as well. This one actually keeps the Hellgrammite on because it's set up for like a live bait with the little prong on the back there. But, you know, it keeps the Hellgrammite in place. What I like to do, I'll cast out and let this thing fall. It'll go down into the water column, go through the water column, hit the bottom. Now, if you're in a current situation, you know, where you have a low to medium current, you'll feel it. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And the whole time, this thing's shaking, doing whatever. It's very unlikely, because I've had the same question over and over from multiple people. You know, do you reel? Do you, you know, yes, I do. What I do, I'll very lightly either pull back, and it depends upon the current itself. And it's a judgment call. But I'll pull back, and it's it's so subtle that you, with the first person view that I use mostly when I'm recording, you don't see it. But I'll pull back real lightly, and what that does, okay, I got this guy on the bottom, I pull back, he goes up, he's up into the water column again, and then he comes back down. You know, that's just sort of giving him a lifelike appearance, like, oops, you know, I come off the rock, I can get back down there. And if there's any bass in the area, any smallmouth bass, they're going to hit it. They'll hit that as soon as it starts to drop. I'm telling you, that's my experience with it. You know, it's very successful for me, and I hope that if you try this, it is for you as well. The other way I use the NIKKO Hellgrammite is, like, if there's a heavy current, what I'll do is cast out, this thing will drop, okay? Now the current's wanting to take it downstream, you know, and it's bouncing along, doing whatever. I'll slowly retrieve it. And I'll do a couple winds real slow and stop. Real slow, stop. Real slow, stop. And what that's doing, this thing's bouncing on the bottom. Now I'm picking him up, putting him in the water column, and I'm stopping. He's coming down, he's bouncing again. Generally, either they're going to hit you when you take off, when you start like this, or when it starts to drop. It's that simple. You know, that's what has worked for me. I have caught a ton of bass using this technique. Will it work for everybody? No, because, you know, I already know that people are going to message me, well, I'm getting stuck on the bottom, and you're using too much of a heavy weight. And if you're not going weedless like I don't, if you're casting upstream and letting it come back to you, I'm telling you, you're running the risk of getting hooked on rocks, on tree branches, you know, on whatever's under the water. That's why you see me in my videos. You'll see me in the kayak. I'm actually backwards facing downstream. And I'm pedaling backwards to keep myself in one position. What I'm doing is throwing it and letting this thing go downstream. Choom, 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 choom. But the beauty of it is, with these jig heads, you see, the line is on the same side as the barb. So it's like this. My line is coming back this way, so now I'm less likely to get hooked, okay? Unless it hits something and twists and then I pull down or whatever. I fish downstream, side to down. You'll see me fishing upstream, and 90% of the time that footage doesn't get put in the video because I get stuck on rocks, stuck on a tree branch, whatever. But I fish that way anyway, and that's just going up. And I've caught some big ones. You know, the urban fishing one. I caught a 2 pound 9 ounce smallie. I was fishing upstream. Of course, I just threw it, and it hit, and as soon as it hit, he took off with it. You know, I just must have placed it just right. But that is my technique, guys. That is what has caught me the most fish. You know, I try to explain it over comments and on social media, you know, responding to people and try to explain it. But I hope that this actually, you know, this shows you, you know, what I'm doing. Now, I'm not pulling out my fishing rod and sitting here and showing you, you know, as far as that goes. When I'm telling you it's light, I'm pulling back, it's real light, real subtle. It's just enough to get it to come off the bottom, okay? But this technique works. It's something that I developed, and I know it works. I know it works because I use it every single time I go fishing. Every one. Now that the Dobson fly life cycle is just about complete, you know, Hellgrammites are going to start, the Hellgrammite bite is going to start dying off. And a lot of that is because the life cycle of the Hellgrammite, they're not as plentiful in the water, so the bass have switched to other opportunities for food. You know, crayfish, minnows, that sort of thing. So, you know, you can still fish with a Hellgrammite, but it may not do as well. Like right now, I think we're at the tail end of where it's going to work. I'm actually surprised it's worked this long because I figured it would die off by now. But give it the next 2 or 3 weeks and it will die off, and I'll have to switch, you know, go from a one-trick pony back to trying to use all kinds of stuff to get the fall bass fishing, you know, get the fall bass to bite. So it is what it is. But I hope this helps for real. You know, I think I answered all the questions I was asked. What equipment do I use? How am I using it? You know, how I use it. You know, it just, it comes down to a fundamental technique of just being patient, being able to feel your bait bouncing off the bottom and knowing, okay, yep, gonna pop it up here, gonna pop it up here, or I'm gonna slowly, okay, stop, slowly, stop, slowly, stop. Generating the bites, you know, getting the bass to bite your bait. Hopefully that helps you, because honestly, that is, I'm not sponsored by NIKKO, although I've been pleading, I guess, but I'm not sponsored by NIKKO baits, but I love their lures. You know, their Hellgrammites are second to none. I'm one of the rare people that would go out before I found NIKKO Hellgrammite. I'm one of the rare people that would go and kick rocks, turn rocks. And actually, one of my videos from several years ago was me turning rocks and getting Hellgrammites to go fishing. Which, you know, I caught heck because, you know, I was wearing gloves. Well, of course I'm wearing gloves, man. I'm in like 2.5 feet of water going up a current, pulling myself along. You don't know what you're grabbing. So, you know, but I'm one of the very few people that would use real Hellgrammites. I don't use real Hellgrammites anymore because I'm lazy. And because, honestly, these guys here, where a real Hellgrammite, I'll catch 3 to 5 fish and then I'll have to replace it with another one. I can catch literally tens, if not, you know, 30, 40 bass with just the same lure. The last natural Hellgrammite I had, I think I said this already, but I'll say it again, I easily caught over 100 bass with it. Just one of these. Now, it was to the point to where it was starting to split and degrade and fall apart. But that just shows you the quality of their product. So, hey, you know, try this out here towards the end of the season here. See if it works for you. Experiment. You know, maybe something I said, you don't like some of the stuff and you can try something. Try it. That's the beauty of this, man. Experiment with it. Use that technique. Experiment. Catch fish. Catch fish. Have fun. So guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate you, because every thumbs up and every subscription helps with the YouTube algorithm. And my goal is to be seen by as many people as I can be, you know. But if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. And if you like the videos I post, please subscribe to my channel. And if you're on Rumble, follow me, man. You know, give me a thumbs up and follow me. I greatly appreciate every single one of you, every one of you, all of you. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. So until the next time, guys, keep on fishing.